Hi everyone, we are here to discuss some interesting news which is happening here. Some people may have received some emails, but we can now confirm the RTX 3080 tier launches in the EU this week. Barry, have you anything to say on this? Have you been trying it by chance?
I have indeed. So first off, straight off the bat, we just want to put our thanks out there to GeForce Now for making it accessible to us, just so that we can obviously kind of be in the position of being able to talk about it. So thank you very much, for making sure that we got that access and to be able to talk to everybody about it today.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much to GFN for supplying that because it does make our lives easier and we can actually go out here and you may be flooded with lots of videos from the Cloud YouTube channel, but that is because we're trying to get as the wide a range of things as possible. So thank you for that. And we can sit here and discuss the 3080 series launching in the EU. I know we've been waiting for this for a while since we've been really sitting here jealous that with the US people getting that, and we're going, we want it now, and finally we have got it. And Barry, what's your initial reaction to it?
My initial reaction is I can't go back. I've seen it now. It is that damn good. I literally, I can't go back. I've taken a little bit of time just to play through a couple of games. So I've kind of spent some time with Cyberpunk. Done a little bit of Payday, a Plague Tale. A couple of different bits just to sort of jump into and just kind of see, what my initial reaction is. And it just feels, it's one of those things where I think when you're passionate about gaming, something like this comes on and it just absolutely reinvigorates that passion. Not that any of my passion for gaming had dwindled, but you get something like this and you look at it and you go, wow, you just savor everything. And as I say, you just will not be able to go back. How about you?
I thought it was awful. It is absolutely astounding what they have done. I have talked for a while that I think GFN was slightly ahead of the main cloud gaming services out there. GFN are now light years ahead of them. It is that much of a difference in my experience now. It is just like you say, it is hard to go back. And I'm just sitting there looking at it going, oh my God, this looks absolutely brilliant. What I will say is, this is not going to be an upgrade for everybody. Not everybody will want to get this. It is a fair amount of money. We touched on the money before, which was £90 and
Yeah, yep.
$100 for 6 months upfront. I said at the time that I thought it was near enough a bargain at that price because of what you're getting there. And some people think it's really expensive. It all depends on your use case. After experiencing this, I can tell you it is, if you are a cloud gaming enthusiast, you are, I hate using these terms, a hardcore gamer and things like that. The terms would get bandied about all the time. This is an upgrade 100% for you. If you're just looking a simpler sort of lifestyle where you just want to log into games and away you go, there's other places for you to go there. And but if you want to play games in the highest quality going, this is where you need to put the money down for. It is that good. And as we said, GFN have actually provided us a copy of this. Kelly has bought a copy as well, or has bought a subscription for it. This isn't me just saying this because you've just been given this. I was going to be buying this no matter what anyway. So, and I've actually put money down for Kelly as well. So I have put my money where my mouth is as well. So, and just to clarify some bits and bobs there, just to think you're just being paid to say this. No, I'm not.
No, not at all. I think I'd agree with that. The privilege element in that sense is being able to actually access it, so we can talk about it today. Like we said at the at the start of this, that's where the benefit comes in. Really, it's if you want to be able to tweak and customize your gameplay, that's exactly where GFN is at. If you want the best experience and a little bit of control over what your experience feels like, bang on the money. That's exactly where it is.
Yeah. If you have not tried this, it is really hard to quantify. If you're really, really into games, you can just notice the difference. One of the games I've been playing, and there's a video up on our YouTube channel, is Assassin's Creed Origins. Playing that now is like playing it as a remaster. I've turned everything up to ultra. I am playing in 1440p. Everything maxed out, and it looks like a complete another different game, in my opinion. It's if you're a big fan of franchises or big fans of games, when you go in and replay it with everything turned up to where the developers really wanted to push the envelope, there is such an absolute difference. You're running about in in Egypt, and the bushes are more fuller. There's just so many more different uh, wee elements there going. It nearly looks a new game, and it is just astounding just going back playing these older games just and having a completely and utterly maxed out and seeing what the publisher or sorry the developers vision was truly for the game.
Yeah, and that is a really worthwhile point to be made, because it does. It gives you a totally different experience. We talk about replayability in games, and kind of how the content in games kind of makes it replayable and all those sorts of things. But this adds a whole new element to actually making you want to go back and play. I felt like a kid in a sweet shop. I really did. I was jumping into something, and I was playing it for a little while, and then I was like, oh right, I'm gonna go out. What else am I gonna play? What can I go and have a look at next? What can I do? And one of the ones that I guess kind of stuck in my head quite recently as well was Bright Memory. Obviously launched a couple of weeks ago on the service, and I played the first one, which at that point I was on the founders tier, so kind of taking that to the max level that we could there. I've then gone back and played it on the RTX 3080 tier, and oh my, there is a real difference, and that is, I'm only talking in there literally in weeks apart of playing an installment and then going back, and it advantageous that of course Bright Memory, the first one's probably about 40-45 minutes, so it's nice and easy just to kind of jump in, play it, and then jump in and kind of have a second run at it. But yeah, the difference is immense. It's one of those tip your hats to the geniuses that have made it happen.
Yeah. The best compliment you can give this, it feels like you're playing native. And for me, I feel like I am playing on a PC with it all sort of maxed out. It is that good. On the founders tier, occasionally I found some like shimmering, maybe the nice way of saying it, when I was playing on the shield, and there was like a bit of a shimmer now. Now the image is completely another league clear, and it is just astounding the difference in it, and it's like magic, and that's what you. I think that's the best way to say it. It is just such a massive step up for me, and it's one of them things. Once you've tasted it, you do not want to go back to anything like what you were on before. It is that much of a difference, and I know my gaming lifestyle is going to be changing now. I used to have an order of where I got my games. That order has it's 100% GFN first and other platforms to the side now, unless it's part of the subscription. But that's a different story. But that's basically it. Now. If I have to go and buy a game, it is I want to buy a game on GFN, and because the difference is not just so stark, and that's before you get into trading cards or the soundtracks.
They're our personal favourites on a weekly basis. Has it got trading cards? Has it got a soundtrack? It's a game for us. Let's crack on.
Yeah, exactly that. I don't really, so I didn't really want to go down that rabbit holes, but I'm telling, I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. The Steam Deck and GFN are just going to go hand in hand beyond a doubt now, and this new upgrade is reinforcing that for me. I just want to see tons and tons of more games coming to GFN. I want to really push this to its limits. Speaking of pushing it to its limits, have you tried it on the Shield yet?
Yes, I have tried it on the Shield.
Did you crank it up to 4K on the Shield? Because you can put up to 4K on the Shield, and when you're putting it on in the app, it is 1440p on the PC, but on the Shield, it's 4K.
Yes, I did. I've done both. So when I was playing on the Shield, I literally I wanted to have a bit of a mess about with the the kind of the settings and the resolution. So I was fleeting between actually running the Shield in 1440 and then also running the Shield in 4K. And there are some absolutely outstanding titles there to be checked out. And I kind of felt like the one that I really enjoyed earlier actually was Payday 2. I played it for a little bit in 1440 and then swapped it into 4K. And, that's not a new title, but it was looking absolutely spot on, running really well. I mean, I think it probably goes without saying, of course, that some of the recommended titles, if you have got a Shield, that encourage people to sort of go and check out in 4K is stuff like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Death Stranding, Destiny, Far Cry New Dawn, Hitman 3, Metro Exodus, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and of course Watch Dogs Legions. All the ones that have got a lot of the shiny bells and whistles. What about you? What's your experience been like on the Shield?
What I have actually done on the Shield, running things at 4K, all bells and whistles going, is really difficult, and that's even with everything. The older the game, the more likely you are to get it in 4K and all the bells and whistles. If you're a GFN user, you're probably a PC user, or your PC is your first port of call when you're playing games. I think I'm going to be preaching to the converted here. 1440p max everything out, and that is where I have been running on the Shield, because we know the Shield does the upscaling a bit as well. So that's what I have been using at. I have been tinkering with some older games on the Shield as well, which can run the 4K no problem. Portal 2, I've been playing that, and that is absolutely brilliant fun. And if you haven't played Portal 2, definitely pick that up. You can usually get that for next to nothing, and it looks absolutely brilliant on the Shield. And I've done it in 1440p as well, and there should be a video up as well. Absolutely brilliant. Speaking of the tweakings, we've got a video up there, Barry. What would you recommend with the tweaks and stuff to get this running well? I'm talking about the actual in-app sort of tweaks you'll need to do, because there is some customization that you'll need to do.
Yes, absolutely. So in the kind of video that we've got out, it just kind of runs through how to get the best out of it, really, because I think there's noticeable things like when you launch your GeForce Now app, by default, it kind of loads in a balanced mode. But in order to really extract the best out of the 3080 tier, you want to actually set that to custom. And then kind of when you then get into custom, you can kind of set the resolution that sets for your monitor, kind of your FPS, and then of course the VSync, with that being adaptive, you've got the toggle to turn that on there. And then more importantly, or not more importantly, equally as important, I should say, you've also got the persistent settings for the in-game settings. So if you're making changes and adjustments within there, flicking that toggle on to make sure that those settings are saved in-game as well. So it's only a few minutes long as a video, but it just runs through kind of where each of those bits are in the app, and kind of how easy it is to kind of get it done, and off you go and enjoy.
Yeah, I fell foul of that at the very beginning because I was going, why isn't this letting me go into 1440p and why isn't this going into 4K? You have to do that on the Shield as well. The Shield is in the same sort of position. It's if you go to the Shield, it's at the very bottom, and when you click and tells you what tier you are. You can go in there and do save my settings there as well. Please note that the save the settings is only for the 3080 tier. It is not priority. This is just 3080. And this means that it's exactly as it says in the 10, your save or your settings are saved there, so you don't have to worry about having to go in and tweak them again. Because I'll tell you, I was cracking up, so I was going on the Shield. I thought it would be automatically on the Shield. It wasn't. I had to go in and do it because I was trying to get Assassin's Creed Origins set up on the Shield, and it wouldn't let me. And I was going, what's going on? And then I'm going to have to look for this. And it was in the setting at the bottom. So just keep that in mind if you are wondering why things aren't working. You do have to do some tweaks.
Yes, indeed. And the same as well is applicable for the mobile app. So if you have a mobile that supports 120 FPS on the screen, which as it stands at the moment, there is 5 handsets from Samsung, which are the kind of the S20 FE, the S21, the S21 Plus, S21 Ultra, and then the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G. They're the only phones as it stands right now that support the 120. Hopefully they'll add to that list, because I've got a Samsung phone that has a very nice 120 screen and I really wanted to record some content, but it's not available, so we'll get that done. But that's similar place, and I think with the GFN apps you've got that continuity that everything kind of is, once you hit into that settings cog, everything looks relatively similar, so it's relatively straightforward.
Yeah, the issue you may find, it's not that tweaking it isn't actually that difficult. It's actually just knowing to go in and tweak it when you get it. So I think it's a good thing to recap here. What all do you get with the 3080 tier? You get your 3080 rig here, which actually we'll talk about, absolutely brilliant. You also get, if you're playing on the Shield, you get HDR and you get up to 4K 60 FPS. That's only if you're playing on the Shield. If you're playing it in the app, you get 1440p and you can get up to 120 FPS on that. And I'm missing things here. I know I am. I'm just my head went blank. You've also got that new technology, the adaptive sync, but that's pushed out to everybody there. You can save your settings as you go from game to game, so you don't have to go in and tweak them, because that. I'm telling you now, the customization now you're going to have in this is unreal. You can really max it out to get your 1440 or 4K 60 running absolutely spot on, or you can really crank it up and have it running in ultra and maybe not hitting the 120, bringing it down to 60 on the desktop. It is brilliant. I can't wait to hear what everybody thinks about it when they get their hands onto it, because yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I totally agree. It's one of those things that when you kind of see people get it in their hands, you kind of you're really looking forward to sort of seeing their their reactions. One of the nice things while you were running through a couple of those bits, there was a couple of things that popped into my head actually. Is of course a couple of little niceties in the fact that It shows up, like for example, HDR supported games. It actually shows up HDR ready in a little white box. Same with RTX, and then obviously you get the obligatory notification that says you may well have to turn it on in game. So just look out for those little sort of little white symbols which say HDR ready or RTX ready.
Yeah, there is lots of nice GI stuff which GFN are working on, and it seems to be just a constant roll down the hill with them. The updates are nice and regular. We're getting the patch notes when we're logging in. We can see what they've been working on. And if you play on the Shield, again, I'm pushing the Shield here. I'm not meant to be pushing the Shield. It's where I've been playing a real load of this. Picking out games is wee buns. It is just so easy to just go in there. Wee buns, Northern Ireland expression means easy. It's really, really easy to go in and pick out game you want. You've got your search, you've got that. And it's just scrolling down, seeing what you want. I just want to go back up and play more of it. For me, this is what cloud computing and cloud gaming is 100% about. It is the constant upgrades. They're constantly pushing things out there. We're talking. Just put this into your headspace here. We're talking 1440p, 120 FPS, and you can run it on an old PC, laptop, MacBook, whatever, and if you've got the 120 FPS monitor, you can be running that. Have you played any 120 FPS as yet?
No, not yet. I've been saving. I've been doing too much testing that I haven't really necessarily kind of focused. But I need to make sure that I do it. There is going to be. We're going to have some Fortnite 120 frames per second on the channel, so that'll be one to check out. But I think like you, we've both got some more recording to do because we've got so much more that we want to check out and then be able to then kind of settling into our usual gaming habits. And I'm going to put something into perspective here, and I know game taste is subjective, but this for me puts it into perspective of an element of how good it is. Okay, in the Black Friday weekend sales, I picked up a new game. Okay, I picked up Ghost of Tsushima for another platform that we won't talk about, but I'm just saying, right. Have I touched it? No, I haven't. It's and that's the impact that it's had. I'd gone and spent a bit of money on a game. Haven't touched it. Have not touched it because that's the impact that it's had.
This is well, maybe just expand onto that slightly. I picked up some games just to actually play on this, but that wasn't the point I was going to make. The point is we're going to be in a good position and also a bad position, and this is the bar. We're talking about this a lot with the bar GFN puts out there. They have raised the bar in a couple of weeks' time, couple of months' time. We're going to be taking this all for granted. If you play on the 3080 tier, you are going to take this for granted, and that is a good thing and a bad thing. I'm just thinking longer term here, and you just saying that about Ghost of Tsushima, that's the thing. We're just going to be accustomed to playing on this sort of stuff on GFN. It's going to be hard to go back to other platforms because we are just at this sort of different sort of level. The games will always bring you to it. You are going to play Ghost of Tsushima at some stage, but what this upgrade does, it makes the old games new again, and the new games you just want to play them as soon as, just to test them all out. And I think that is just wonderful. And for me, if you are a casual gamer, I hate using these terms. I really hate using these sort of terms, but I think loosely, we're just talking very, very, very loosely. If you're a casual gamer who just wants to play a game every so often, this is not for you. If you are a gamer who plays, I would say, every night and you want to have the best settings, the best this, that, and everything, and you don't mind the price point, again, I think the price point's very fair. Jump all over this. It is that good. And if you're worried about not having any games to play, you will have tons of games to play. You've got if you're just starting out in your cloud journey and PC journey, there's 90 free to play games, 90 plus free to play games on GFN to start off with. You also have your Epic free games which come every week. Chances are they go on to GFN as well, and the sales are just unreal. If you want to see how good we do challenges all the time about getting as many games as we can, or for like 30-40 quid, and the amount of games you can get is just scary. So it is a balancing act. The price point does look high to start off with because you have to pay the 6 months up front. If you look in the grander scheme of things, you get so much for your money, and you will make up on it with the Steam sales, your humble bundles, your what else? All the different sites you can get these games, your Epic free games.
Yep, I mean you've got we've still got the autumn Steam sale on at the minute as well. There's some absolute crackers in there. Is that finished now? Well, I was looking earlier today; it was still on. So good shout.
It literally has just ended when we're recording this. We're recording this.
There we go. See,
but there is still sales on, and I'm just having a wee look here just to see. Day by Daylight is £7.50 on there. I'm just having a quick look here. Again, there is always games on sale on Steam which you can play on GeForce now, and once you get hooked into this, it's I can't praise this upgrade enough. It's just
yeah, it's really interesting you use that word hook there, because I actually kind of feel like this upgrade, there were already multiple reasons to leverage and utilize and game stream on GeForce Now. This upgrade just gives another hook and another pull into the service to say, this is the reason why you should be playing your games. If you want to stream games and you are, you want the benefit of cloud gaming and that sort of thing, for me, this really feels like it is another reason to sort of say, if you want to play in the cloud at the highest quality, then this is where you need to play. And for services, and game platforms, that's one of those things that's a must. You need that thing that says if you want to be playing games, here's the place to play it. And that's one of the things that I think this update has really cemented.
Yeah. GFN is the cloud enthusiast's place to play at this moment in time. And please note the word choice there, at this moment in time. What we're going to see longer term is backwards and forwards. What GFN have done here is absolutely remarkable. They have pushed cloud gaming tenfold forward, if not even more. This blows everybody out from the water. What's going to happen, because it's cloud gaming, somebody else is going to do something, and then something else is going to happen. It's just going to be constantly evolving, and I'm just sitting here rubbing my hands going, what is next? Because this is just brilliant. And I cannot see who is going to top GFM in the terms of quality and how good this hardware is. I don't know. I think we could be talking years.
It's entirely possible at the level of performance that is being delivered. When you consider the graphical detail, frame rate, things like adaptive sync, all those sorts of things, you kind of look at it and you do. I mean, yes, you are right. I think we're both doing the same thing. We're looking and saying, actually, where's the next move coming from? Who's making that? Who's moving that chess piece next to try and kind of keep up, catch up, or or even usurp.
See,
But it could be a while.
yeah, I can see people catching up, but I just don't see he's going to actually go the one step next, because we know Nvidia are the ones who make the graphics cards.
That's a really good point.
This is why it's just so mad out there. I just can't wait to see what's next, and I wasn't going to end in this, but we will end in this. Where do we want GFN to go next? Where do we think that it's all good saying we've got the RTX 3080 series here? This is the point I was sort of making a bit earlier. It is going to just go away in the coming weeks and months because we're just going to be used to it. Where do we want them to go next? And by the way, that is not when I'm talking about that. It is because this is so good. We're just going to get used to it, and it's not saying this is rubbish. I'm telling you that this is absolutely amazing. But where do we think GFN will go next?
I'm going to jump in with 2 feet, as always. I think we are going to now see. We've seen a really strong year this year for adding content to the platform. Now, or the service, I should say, we're now seeing the quality of the service, and we talk about those little nice feature updates, and this particular update that we're talking about with the 3080. That now gives you a base. So if we now look at that base level, we've had a good chunk of content. And now we've got a platform upgrade in terms of raw power. I think for me, what you now need to do is now go out and continue your tweaks and your quality of life updates. Don't let those stop. Keep them going. Keep coming. We've of course there's been another one, that will be out in the update that's kind of rolling into. No, okay, move on. But I think what has to follow now is content. It has to go back to that tune. Has to go back to more content and getting the content there onto it. In the sense of saying, we've got all these performance upgrades. We had a good chunk of content in the early part of the year. Now we're going to be greedy and say, go and get us some more content. The big hitters that are out there, all of that sort of stuff, go and do it, go and grab it, and kind of feed into bringing more publishers and more developers back to the platform and start flooding us now. Because you are right, we will get accustomed to the performance level, but if you flood us with more content from all the different people that now are inevitably going to want to come back to the service and have their game streaming, then that's what we'll then be talking about. There is how much content we can consume.
The content is a really good point. If you want to say something else, I was going to talk about content, so I've got something else I can talk about. I want to see some of the features which can only be done in cloud, or making some of the just tweaks overall to things. We've seen earlier in the year you can direct link games in GFN. I want to see some more of that come back into the forefront. Just more cloud stuff. I would love them to be in contact with some of the games which are just being developed in the cloud. There's a big, massive cloud game being developed, and I would love to hear that GFN are in contact with them. Again, I just want to just constantly see more and more pushing the envelope, and I think the point you made here, I think their base now is cemented here with these new pods, these new super pods. I think they can start to what's next, what's next, and that's what I always want to see companies do is what is next. Don't rest on your laurels. You've got this. I want to see what's coming down the line, and we know with GFN and how they operate and how they've been operating this whole year, they are not slowing down. They're just constantly pushing on as things as the weeks and months go on, and content is king, and the more content you have, the absolute better things are. And I'm telling you now, this 3080 tier, developers, publishers will want people to play their games the best they can. And I'm hoping Nvidia are out there knocking on all their doors. And knowing them, they probably are. Bring us the GFN, bring us that people experience this. And I just can't wait to see what happens.
Absolutely. Very nicely put.
So I think we will end it there. And we will be talking again a bit more in this tomorrow. And if anybody has any questions tomorrow, I mean during our GFN on show, if you want to contact us, if any questions or queries, if you've got any games you want us to test, we will do our level best to do it. And GFN on is every Thursday at 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern, and noon Pacific. And it should be a good one tomorrow. I hope to see you there. So, is there anything you want to add into that?
Nope, I don't think there is anything more I can add to that other than we will see you guys at GFN on.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.